it's Narrowboat Lane again. You catch up with us as we are now currently moored at our new home. I'm absolutely shattered. It's been a long 4 days. Pretty much we've been doing 10 hour day cruises to get from where we were pretty much at the Coventry Basin to where we are now over in Leicestershire. It's been an epic journey. No dramas whatsoever. Nothing went wrong. The boat performed brilliantly. Our BMC 1.8 never skipped a beat. Never skipped a beat. At one point, she dropped a little bit of oil onto the fan back, which alarmingly, at the end of the day, when I went to have a look and do my checks, I seen this fine oil mist spray over the wall next to the fan back. So I thought, oh please. Well, I mean, we were still easily a good day and a half away from our destination at the time. I really didn't want to have any engine problems. But the previous day, we had been gunning it through different portions. So perhaps I'd give her a little bit too much to think about, and she'd let a couple of drops of oil go. But there's no oil leaks now. I've cleaned it all up, had a look, and I can't see any oil leaks, so I don't know where it was or where it came from. But anyway, other than that, she was absolutely brilliant. Behaved herself marvellously on the River Trent, on the big wide sections of the River Trent and the River Soar. Mags did the majority of the steering in and out of the locks, because some of the locks that we come across on our adventure were brutal. They were really, really heavy. Not just the lock gates, but the lock gear itself, the paddle gear, was really, really tough on some of them. So yeah, so I took control of that, and Mags did the steering. She did brilliantly. Couple of little mistakes, but then so did I with the locks. So we learn every day. Picked up a few flies and midges along the way. That's the one thing nobody warned us about. They told us how what the risks were going to be, on doing the big sections of rivers, and if it's in flood and blah blah. And it played on my mind quite a lot, actually, to the point where by the time we got there, I was a bit of a nervous wreck. But as you'll see, we didn't do too bad. The one thing nobody warned us about, like I say, was the midges and the flies. We were plagued with them. It was like something out of an Egyptian film. But yeah, other than that, everything went okay. We got here late last night. Well, I say late last night. It was about 6-7 o'clock last night. We moored straight onto the wrong pontoon. Realised we'd done it, so I backed out, turned around, and moored up on the correct pontoon. When I got some electric that they supply on little prepaid cards. So we both had a nice, well-deserved long hot shower. Mags could wash and dry her hair for a change, rather than just washing it and leaving it, because we didn't have the battery power, obviously. Then I thought I'd give setting up the satellite TV so we could just mong and watch a bit of telly. And that, historically for me, has been a bit of a pain, because I'm crap at finding where the signal should be pointed. Turn the TV on, give the satellite dish a quick swivel to the left, to sort of line up with a satellite dish I could see on somebody else's boat. Bang. Best signal we've ever had. 96% signal strength, 92% quality. Fantastic. So I'm going to have to do a channel reset now. Hopefully we might be able to pick up some stuff that we never had before. We're not big TV watchers, but over night time, once we've done our day's work and we've sat down and had our tea, it is nice sometimes just to put the telly on for a bit. So yeah, so without further ado, I will give you one quick disclaimer. I am not a travel vlogger. I have neither the equipment, the patience, or the expertise to do a decent, in-depth travel vlog. If you want travel vlogs, then I thoroughly recommend that you go and have a little search on YouTube, because there are quite a few that do it so much better than us. We do all our filmings on our phones, and yeah, it shows. And the free app that I do my video editing on also isn't the best. So if you want high quality broadcast quality vlogs, go and check out the likes of Cruising the Cut and Narrowboat Experience, Minimalist, and Country House your choices aren't limited. One more thing I would say, Henry has been quite stressed. He doesn't like the engine noise. He's currently fast fast asleep. He's not been sleeping very well, but we're here now, so he can recharge his batteries and just relax a little bit, and then we'll introduce him to the local environment. He's been out for a couple of walks, obviously, but he needs to find his feet too. Yeah, so the following is just a series of clips and like a bit of a montage of different bits and bobs. There's nothing special in there, but people have been asking me to do a few clips of the journey, so that's what we've done. It's nothing special. Before I forget, big shout out to one of my viewers, made me feel all famous and interesting as we went past. Hello, I watch your channel. So that was really nice. So Andy, thanks for saying hi and introducing yourself, and yeah, making me feel a bit recognised. It was weird, but it was nice. It was really good. So yeah, right. Further ado, crack on. We'll catch you next time. Jobs wise on the boat, we're not going to be doing much for a while because I've got to find work now that we're over in our new destination. So most of my time is going to be taken up with that, and obviously, you know, I've got to find my feet around here. What I might do is just a quick video tour of our new surroundings and let you see what we've managed to find. Right, cheers then, guys. See you in a bit.
So there we go. As we leave Swan Lane, it's a sad farewell. We were there for the first 18 months, and they really looked after us while we found our feet on this whole narrowboat ownership thing. So we had intended just to travel to Hawke Junction and moor up for the evening, but it was such a pleasant evening on the Friday when we left. We decided to push on. We ended up getting quite far up actually. We did really well. We got past Marston Junction and we found a nice little spot. As we ventured on, the sun came out and it was just a lovely time of day. I so much prefer travelling early morning or sort of after tea time, once everyone's decided to moor up and have their dinner and chill out for the evening. It's just such a nice place to be, I find. Much more peaceful. Mags just really liked these wildflowers that were growing all over the place, so she decided to take a few clips of the flora and fauna of the North Coventry Canal. both Mags and myself were very taken by the Canadian geese. They seem to be well organised and very civilised. No fighting, no sexual harassment going on when compared to our British ducks. Yeah, it seems like there's a bit of a crash stick situation going on. There's to be quite a few adults all looking after the same clutch of young. Obviously I don't know whose chicks belong to who. When compared to the Trent and Mersey, which we'll get onto shortly, the Coventry seemed quite busy. I mean, I know it was Friday evening, so you know you've got weekenders just heading out on their travels, or it could have just been sheer coincidence. But yeah, quite a few boats around. As luck would have it, with all the volunteer work and the dredging and the cutbacks to the vegetation and stuff, there was plenty of room on the Cov. And once you get up this end, away from the city centre and outside of Nuneaton, etc., it really does turn into a very beautiful stretch of canal. Again, more boats coming. As Sod's law dictates, every time you come to a bridge or on a bend, you'll definitely have a little convoy to pass. One thing that struck me on this trip is narrowboats owners who decide that at the entire stretch of canal, the best place to moor would be on a blind corner with overhanging vegetation on the opposite side, therefore leaving you no room to get past. And if you, well, you can get past, but you've got no view whatsoever. And they'd be the first persons to moan that when you get a bit too close to their boat or give them a little touch or whatever else. The simple solution is don't moor there then, bloody idiots. We love this lock, Tatenhill Lock, I believe it's called. Absolutely idyllic. It's like if you were to draw a picture or ask someone to draw a picture of an English canal, you know, this is pretty much what they'd come up with. I think an old traditional working boat next to a cottage, a lock and a bridge. I mean, it was just beautiful. Due to my expert editing skills and not having the videos numbered in my gallery, this is fast forward now. This is on the River Soar and past some rather scary locks, weirs, but yeah, we didn't really have too much trouble. I mean, the rivers were at a perfectly acceptable level, so nothing too scary. Yep, like the time travellers we are, we're back on the Cov now, this clip. North Coventry Canal, and as we're passing on the left hand side, as you're looking at it there, is a military live firing range. big signs everywhere to keep us civilians well out of harm's way. Although we did spot at one point a load of kids had built a rope swing over the other side, so obviously they weren't that bothered about being shot at. Yeah, it was all nice, peaceful, no dramas, no bullets, no bangs, no whistles. Pew, 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 pew. I wasn't going to include any of these clips because they're really shaky and really out of focus and terrible to watch, but I just wanted to prove the point that, you know, Mags did do her fair share on this trip as well. Seems to take for an age. Excuse me. It seems to take an age for some of these locks to fill. My patience isn't the best, so I was thinking that some of these locks are absolutely brutal to open, really heavy. It turns out that I was a victim of my own impatience, and if I'd have waited maybe a minute longer for the water to equalise properly, then it wouldn't have been an issue. Mostly a marina. I wonder who's been here lately. Right, this is through Sawley Marina and Sawley Locks onto the first major stretch of the Trent. I was really not looking forward to this bit. We'd had a lot of rain in the previous weeks. Yeah, it was the thing that had been playing on my mind the most. But as I say, all the river sections that we went on were well below the green markers, so there was no flow to speak of. There was no currents pulling us left or right. The engine never overheated because I didn't have to really gun it, and we went from being a very scary proposition to a nice peaceful cruise in the end. It was nice to have the wider sections, as all we were used to before had been the narrow canals. So here we are, we've passed the entrance just on the left now to the Wash Canal, or is it Wash? So I've still yet to find out the correct pronunciation of it. That little sign there tells us that the Trent continues on the left, the Saw is on the right, and right in front of us is a big scary boat-eating, ruin your life weir that would undoubtedly suck us in and end all of our dreams about being alive on a boat. But as it turned out, like I said previously, it was a dream. It was just nice and serene, peaceful boating. The weather was a bit crap. It'd been raining pretty much all morning, and because of the rain and the forecast, thunderstorms that never happened. We really wanted to get this section out of the way. I don't know whether we were expecting tsunamis if we'd hung around for the thunderstorms, but I just wanted to get it behind me. This had been the moment that I'd been dreading since before we set off, once we knew the route we were going to take, so it was really nice just to get it behind us, and then I could relax for the rest of the trip. I'd done a lot of research on this section before we attempted it. Looking back, possibly too much. I'd watched countless videos. A lot of them were boats going through on amber and all that sort of thing, so that was a completely different experience for them. I think sometimes you're guilty of building things up in your mind to a point where they become unreasonably scary. But I think sometimes you're better off just turning up and going for it. Because if we'd have done that, yeah, I think we would have found it a lot less stressful. But in the end, it was just really, really peaceful and calm. Really quiet as well. All the way up the Trent and Mersey, all the way onto the Saw. It was very quiet. We genuinely, since the moment of turning off the commentary onto the Trent and Mersey, all the way to our new destination, we must have passed a dozen boats, no more than that. And with the river sections being a lot wider, it was just a serene little trip. And there we go, that's the end of the Trent nightmare as we onto the relatively smaller sections of the River Soar. Like I say, the weather could have been a bit better, but you had no complaints from us. This is up towards Bridge 32, I believe, on the River Soar. Lovely peaceful section. I know that I've got a right hand turn coming up into the marina. Never having been here before or checked it out on the internet, I didn't know what to expect. So what you'll see in a moment is my boat slowly veering to the right as I'm steering to go into the marina, and then realise that it's a winding hole.
Henry!
And here we are arriving at the entrance to our new home, the marina up on the right hand side here. Obviously by the time we got here we'd had a stressful day because of the Trent and the Soar sections and the big Sawley locks, etc. So I mean, I'd been concentrating on them, must have been stood in a rigid position for quite a while, especially with that rain dribbling down the back of my neck, because I was shattered by the time I got here. So there was only one thing for it: drop it down straight into tick over. Was not interested about making an unfavourable entry for our first time into the marina. Didn't want to piss off any boaters, disturb anybody with like unnecessary wake, etc. I knew where we were going. I knew where the berth was, so I could just take my time and just slowly catch a monkey and try and get in without anybody realising that we'd even arrived. And that's what we managed to do in the end. Beautiful place. More vlogs to come. I'll do a little tour vlog and show you what our new home consists of. It's just nice to have some big open spaces of water after being in a tiny little wharf for a while. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed our first and probably last travel vlog. As I've said, we don't do them very well, but yeah, all good stuff. So there you have it, the end of an epic journey. Travel vlogs we don't do, I haven't got the equipment or the patience all the time to get them done properly. This is more just because we've been requested a few times to document it. So cheers.